Hello everybody, and welcome to a very different type of video than what I usually do normally on the channel, but this is a very exciting one, because I was given the chance to go to Shepherd's Bush, London to play Judgment early. So, for people who don't know, there was an event called Judgment Day down in the loading bar in Shepherd's Bush, London, as I just said, where at 5:30 PM it opened up to the public, and loads of people got to play the English dub and English version of Judgment early. However, I got the opportunity to record early footage a few hours prior to it opening to the public, and I'm going to do a sort of first impressions type video, which is something that I haven't really done before, but I'm excited to give it a try. So hopefully I can give my impressions on Judgment, the version of the game that I played, and go through all of the motions to let you guys know what Judgment is, how it changes, the formula compared to other games by Ryuga Gotoku Studios, who is mainly known for making the Yakuza series. And basically, yeah, just giving my thoughts on the matter. So without further ado, let's just get straight to it. So, for people that don't know Judgment, Judgment is a crime drama made by Ryuga Gotoku Studios and spearheaded by Toshihiro Nagoshi, about a disgraced lawyer known as Takayuki Yagami, who used to work for a lawyer firm, and things don't go right with a client that he recently defended, and he ends up becoming a private detective. So he has to try and figure out a string of serial murders across Kamurocho, the city the game is based in, while going through wacky adventures and twists and turns along the way. It's a spin-off from the Yakuza series, as it's set in the same town, or city, I guess I should say, in the red light district of Kamurocho, and features a lot of the same sort of gameplay and presentation, and it uses the same engine also. But it definitely has its own nuances, and I'll get to that a bit later. So, when I was recording, I was playing with the English dub enabled. I did have the option to switch to Japanese, but I wanted to get a good amount of dub footage. So, unfortunately, while I was playing, I wasn't able to hear the dub live myself because of the way that I was capturing. But I was able to hear it on the repeat of the recording, and I have to say, the English dub cast for this game is absolutely stellar. Greg Chun voices the main character, Takayuki Yagami. Crispin Freeman's in the game as his lovable companion Kaito. There's Sharami Lay, there's Matt Mercer, Ray Chase, Robbie Damon, Yuri Lowenthal, Steve Bloom. This game really does have an all-star cast, and listening to the dub, they've done an excellent job of making the game sound understanding to an English-speaking person, while also keeping a lot of the meanings behind the words that they use from Japanese. They've spoken about, in a lot of their trailers, how they wanted to keep the Japaneseness of the game intact. They didn't want to have, like, a mob boss from, like, the Tojo clan, which is one of the Yakuza clans in this game, which is also a main Yakuza clan from the Yakuza series. They didn't want them, like, having, like, Italian accents and being mobsters from, like, the Italian mob. They wanted them to sound like Japanese Yakuza, while still also having a completely, like, different tone with the English. Maybe not tone is the right word, but, like, a different understanding, I guess, is the best way to put it. They did an excellent job listening back, and I will definitely play this game with the English dub whenever I get the chance to. On the subject of the dub, they actually have two sets of translations also for English subtitles. One for the Japanese and one for the English dub. So even if you're playing in Japanese, the text will be more closely translated to how they're speaking in Japanese as compared to the English dub, which that's just going above and beyond, I think, and that's really cool that they've gone to that length. And also adding in French, Spanish, German, as well as translation options. Like, they are putting a lot of effort behind the localization, and that's really great to see. So, moving on to the presentation of the game. This is a really interesting subject to me, because it's similar, but different. There are, like, so many things that, as a long-term Yakuza fan, like, I recognize. So, like, little details, such as when characters are introduced, cut-in cards come in that show the character's name and their position, and also the way that chapters are introduced, or all of the different locations around Kamurocho and some of the gameplay stuff, like fast travel using taxis, you know, just little stuff like that, which I've become so accustomed to. But they all are different, like, in tone. And that's a good thing, because this game is not a Yakuza game. This is a crime drama set with lawyers and, you know, the court system. And I think the tone change is a really good positive for keeping people invested. And what I mean by that is, I played a lot of Yakuza games, and with Yakuza games, you end up in a lot of these same locales, especially Kamurocho. Kamurocho has appeared numerous times throughout the years, and in all of the different titles, but you never get tired of that city, and the reason you never get tired of it is because, even though it's the same city with the same basic layout, it's always changing. Like, the Kamurocho in Yakuza 0 set in 1988 is very different from the Kamurocho set in, like, Yakuza 5 or Yakuza 6. The city is always changing, it's always getting updated, things are moving, it's always changing with the times, there's always different stories and different activities available, while some are always still there, like there's always Club Segas. It's got that right balance of familiarity and differences, which means that they can keep on using the same location and you just never get tired of it. I'm sorry that I repeated that point, but I really want to drive that point home, you know? And it's also true with the way that the story's being told. So the main point when I realized this is a very different type of story being told was just before the start of Chapter 1, when the main character is giving a overview of the state of the city of Kamurocho and giving a narration. And from that alone, it's a very different way of telling the story as compared to a Yakuza game. And it's not the first time he narrates. He actually narrates later on when introducing characters, which is also something very different. And it's just stuff like that. Also the way that characters talk to each other and the ways that they interact. It's a lot more nuanced, I feel. And again, I think that's a good thing. I think as a spin-off, it's really great that it's giving its own identity. And I think that's going to be one of its strengths for convincing people to give it a go. It's definitely one of the things that captivated me, because I'm actually a really big crime thriller fan for both TV and video games. So I'm definitely happy to see that that's the direction that it's going with. Now, when it comes to gameplay, once again, there are many similarities. The game still uses the Dragon engine, which means there is still physics-based combat. It's also still got side stories, it's still got mini-games, it's still got eateries, you can still use items, it's still got all of that stuff. But, again, going with that tonal change, there's a bunch of things that have been changed slightly. Heat moves have been renamed to EX moves, but that's not a cause to be concerned. They are just as crazy. There are some animations which have been reused from previous Yakuza titles, which I noticed, in particular when you're using a bicycle or when you're using a traffic cone. But that being said, Yagami definitely has plenty of his own moves that he uses in combat. EX moves, weapons, also he gets a wall run, or not a wall run, but like a wall jump, like a vault type deal, where he can jump off the wall and do attacks from the wall. He can also vault over enemies, and those are just two of the ways that he feels different to play in combat as compared to someone like Kiryu. So the other thing is how he actually fights. So similar to Yakuza 0, Yagami actually has multiple fighting stances which he can get into. He has Crane and Tiger. Those two stances are mainly suited for Crane taking down multiple enemies, and Tiger for one-on-one brawls. Of course, you can switch between them at will, so you don't have to use what they're recommended for, but that is definitely what they're both suited for individually. Yagami's combat definitely feels much more different to Kiryu. Kiryu, he's a street brawler, so he feels a lot more all over the place. When you use the Dragon style with Kiryu in Yakuza Kiwami 2 and Yakuza 6, it feels like his moves are a lot more, like, wide, I guess is the right way to put it. Like, I feel like I can just, like, swing my, like, punch and, like, hit, like, 3 dudes at once, you know, and just sort of be, like, all over the place. Which makes sense for Kiryu. Like I said, he's a street brawler, so it's kind of makes sense for his fighting style to be all over the place. Yagami, on the other hand, is a practitioner of karate. So when fighting as Yagami, you have a sort of more tighter combat experience. It feels like his moves are more deliberate, they feel more pronounced, and they feel like they have, not weight, that's not the right word, but they have a bit more, not even purpose, but they have a bit more sort of like direction to them, I guess is the way to put it. So when I was just practicing with the different stances, I found out that you can do stuff like stance cancelling. So when you're in combat in one stance, you can actually switch to another stance, which you can start testing out with and like doing, like one of the things that I started doing was in Tiger stance, I did the first light attack and then press triangle, which does a heavy finisher. And then after the finisher, he would do an overhead kick, which like knocked them off the ground, and from that I would change into crane stance and then try to do a follow-up. And it was super cool. I imagine when you get loads of moves later on, then you can start doing a bit more crazy stuff. Unfortunately, it did not have some of the like crazy wall stuff unlocked, or any of the vaulting stuff in the time that I played, but that's definitely something that I want to test out later on. Another thing that Yagami has similar to Kiryu is he has an EX mode, which is similar to Extreme Heat mode. Unfortunately, in my gameplay playing with the demo, I didn't get to the point where I unlocked EX mode, but I was able to play the Japanese demo and unlock it, and you get some crazy moves available to you when you have EX mode, so I imagine there'll be a bunch of unlockables similar to Kiryu's Extreme Heat mode, which are unique to that mode, in order to make the combat even more crazy. So, other than combat, there is a lot more different gameplay types in Judgment compared to Yakuza. So, one of the new things that they have a big emphasis on is detective gameplay. So, right at the start, during the prologue mission, it introduces some of these detective elements, mainly focusing on investigations. You do tailing, you do chasing, and with tailing you get like a big bar at the top of the screen and you have to hide behind different objects as you try to tail the person that you're investigating and make sure that they don't spot you. If they do spot you at certain points in the mission, then you start like a chase mini game where you have to like dodge like oncoming obstacles and like cool maneuvers. Like there's like one part which I freaking love where just Yagami he just does a flip over a bike that gets thrown at him for seemingly no reason other than to just look really cool. But I appreciate the style, you know? Other than that, other investigation gameplay things that I wasn't able to get to in the chapter was sneaking in using disguises, lockpicking, using drones to look around and try to find clues and like people that you need to interrogate or question, and it makes you feel like a detective doing like investigation, which I just love that so much, you know? It's one of my favorite things. And also you can talk to people on the investigation to gather clues, and if you ask like the right questions, you get like bonuses to your level up currency, which is SP in this game. So Gon is the system from Yakuza 6 and Kiwami 2, where you would have to level up individual stats which contribute to different level ups. Now it's all just one currency, it's SP, and they streamlined it to 3 categories also, which is ability, battle, and special. All of that stuff is a bit more streamlined from the Yakuza 6 and Kiwami 2, which I think is a good thing. Just to keep it fresh and keep it new and familiar at the same time. And I was able to get some of the EX moves, which I wanted to try and test out. Unfortunately, didn't get to try out all of them in my gameplay session, but I tried my best. All that other gameplay goodness that is still around is still there, as I mentioned before. Minigames, there's some new minigames, there's Virtua Fighter 5, there's drone racing, there's like a House of the Dead spin-off game. There's like Dreamcast games that you can play. I think it was a Dreamcast game. It was like this motorcycle game, and you were like playing like racing other motorcycles. It was like road rage in the future. It was really nuts. I wanted to give it a go. I didn't actually get a chance to play it in my demo time, but I'll definitely get to that when I get the chance. Also, gameplay-wise, the game runs at 1080p 30 frames per second. Unfortunately, some of the TVs seem to be slightly different quality with all the different setups that they had where we were stationed. So there was like one TV in particular that looked really choppy, and then there was another TV that had like really nice frame pacing. So it actually looked higher than 30, even though the game was running at 30. So results were definitely varied for that. But for me personally, on my TV, it ran absolutely smoothly on a base PS4 system. They've definitely figured out Dragon Engine by this point and how it runs, because this game seems to be optimized pretty well. But, yeah, that's pretty much my Judgment experience. It's like Yakuza and Ace Attorney and Law and Order wrapped up together. I'm excited more than ever to play this series, guys. I really am. Like, I always have faith in Ryuga Toku Studios in order to make a absolutely fun game, and considering they're doing something so different with this title, it just makes me super hype, you know? I love Yakuza, but I'm willing to try out completely new spin-off titles as well, and yeah, that's pretty much all that needs to be said. So I think for now, that's just going to be my first impressions, and I will let the raw gameplay play out for a while to show off some of the English voice acting and some of the gameplay stuff raw. So hope you guys enjoyed this different type of video than I usually do, and I hope you do all that junk I keep on saying to do with the following and subscribing and whatnot, and I'll see you guys next time.
Sorry? Did you eat them all?
All but half. Hope you don't mind.
Who are you? I'm all done. Kaito-san, where's our guy going?
On his way towards Pink Street. Crowd's thinning out. Get your ass over here.
Got it.
And make it quick. Any minute now, he's gonna figure out I'm shadowing him.
It's high time you pay all the rent you owe.
I just need a little longer, okay? Just one more week.
Another week? I am done warning you.
Yes, I assure you.
It better be. Bye for now, then.
Oh, that was close.
He just ducked into an empty lot, Kaito-san. Dead end. We follow him, we blow our cover.
What do you think he's doing in there?
Probably meeting someone he doesn't want to be seen with.
Makes sense. Pigeons up. Can you see it?
Hold on. Hey. Suspicious. Hey. There it is.
Hold on. I'll send the feed to your phone.
Nice flying, Kaito-san. Keep it steady. You been practicing?
Now's not a good time, Talk. Gotta concentrate. There's another guy in there with him.
So he is meeting someone. Hey, I know that guy. He's a bookie for horse races.
Trying to gamble his way to paying off debts, huh? Because that always works.
Yeah, well, if they came all the way out here just to meet, he must have the cash on him. We'll get what we need if we move now. You remember what we're doing here, right?
Collecting the debt that detective owns. Oh, I get it. This is our chance.
Just relax. Let me do my thing, okay?
You got it, Talk. Don't fuck it up.
Nice night, huh, detective?
Huh?
I hear the bookies in Kamurocho make some pretty good deals. You win 10% more, you lose 10% less. They make it sound so enticing. Maybe I should get in on it. Hey, where are you going? Don't you need your money?
What the hell is this? Who are you?
I'm here to get my client's money back. Before you lose it on another horse.
So they hired a thug to collect. Should I be impressed you found me?
A thug? Well, that's not very nice. You and I are in the same business.
You're a detective?
Afraid so. I hear you're pretty hard to get a hold of. That's why the people you owe came to me. Look, I know you have the money on you. You can't get out of this. Just do us both a favor and pay up. Don't put up a fight.
Well, you're right. I have the money. But look, I'll pay everything back after I win big on this next race. Just wait, okay?
Are you serious? I didn't track you down just so you could...
Maybe next time!
Whoa! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Kaito-san, he's making a run for it.
I saw. Where are you going, little guy?
Damn it. Get back here. Hold up.
Stay away from me!
You won't get away.
Give it up!
Hold up.
Get lost already!
You need to learn when to quit.
Shut up. I have it all figured out. I'll get the money! This is annoying. I'm not done yet. This is annoying. I don't get it. Didn't you say you were a detective? What's your name?
I never said I'd field any questions, asshole. It's Yagami. Take a good look. Now do you believe me? So, let's be civil here. Just hand over the cash, okay? 150 grand sound good?
Back the fuck off. You running some kind of racket here? I'll sue you. Oh, yeah? You gonna sue? The fuck do you think you are? Huh?
Hold on, Kaito-san.
The hell? You're not a detective, asshole. You're fucking Yakuza. Oh, yeah? Guess you know what'll happen if you don't pay up then.
Hey, ease up, Kaito-san. I'm sure he doesn't want to piss you off anymore.
I said all right. Listen here, asshole. I'm gonna sue your ass into the goddamn ground. You see this? You broke my fucking nose.
Don't be so melodramatic. I think we both know who threw the first punch.
No way I'm gonna let that slide. Just you watch, you'll see the court's gonna... Huh? But that's... a lawyer's badge. So you're not a detective?
And? You still want to sue? You know, you won't know what hit you. Here, I'll scrounge up the rest for you later.
What about your cut?
I'll get it eventually. All of this goes to the client.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I'm gonna swing by Genda-sensei's place, see if he's got any work.
Don't hold your breath. For a lawyer's office, things are slow as shit over there.
You're aware they're one of our best clients, right?
Yeah, I know you used to work there and all. But don't show up empty-handed. Here, buy him some sweets or something. At least go through the motions.
so generous. My boy's all grown up.
Don't mention it, Dad. Now get going. I hear they've got some extra fancy dorayaki at the Popo over on Tenkaichi Street. Even come in a box.
Huh?
Well, Genda-sensei's got a pretty big sweet tooth, if you get me.
Right. I'll go pick some up. Out of the way! This again? Really, guys? It's called Tender. Got my first job here 20 years back. Masuda-san never changes. Running a bar must keep you young.
Hey, Tuck. Shintani-sensei's in the back.
Great. We've got some business to talk.
Surprised to see me?
I'd be more surprised if I didn't.
Who's that, Talk? A detective buddy?
Not exactly, Mari. This one's a client.
Won't be your client for long if you don't show up on time. You're late.
Come on, you called me here totally out of the blue. Chill out, maybe. Huh, and I'm getting a drink.
And I'm paying?
Let's call it a business expense.
Here's a familiar face. Kyohei Hamura, from the Matsugane family.
I ran into him earlier, actually. Take it he's your client?
Yep, got hauled in earlier. They're charging him with murder.
Seriously?
Seriously. So, the Matsugane patriarch came to us for his defense. Genda-sensei's the go-to guy for all his legal problems, you know?
How'd you end up in the driver's seat then?
Genda-sensei gave him my card. Gotta say, not looking forward to defending a Yakuza.
Tough luck, I guess.
Anyway, you're coming with me to the station. Need to have a word with Hamura. You got way more Yakuza experience than me, after all.
Yeah, suppose I do.
Let me give you a rundown of the case first. The victim was a Yakuza. A Kansai guy, part of the Kyorei clan. They found his body tossed in a dumpster just about a week ago.
Hold on. This is...
The guy who got his eyes gouged out? Yep. Cops think Hamura's the one who did it.
hell of a case, man.
This is the third Yakuza they've found like this. Fortunately, we're not dealing with a triple homicide here, so the media isn't swarming. Hammer's got an alibi for the first two incidents. His third murder is the only one they're pinning on him.
So they won't admit the cases are connected?
No, makes sense. 3 bodies and not a single suspect isn't exactly giving the cops credibility. Guess they just want to get this case closed and move on, even if they have to force it through. And hey, the victim was Yakuza. Nobody really cares who hangs for it.
Why'd they come after Hamura, of all people?
2 reasons. First, the victim was a Kansai Yakuza from a group that's been making inroads in Kamurocho, and picking fights with the Tojo clan along the way. Odds are this was a Tojo guy wanting to send a message. And as you know, Hamura fits the bill.
And the other reason?
Hamura and the victim were seen having a fight on the day of the crime.
I'm guessing there's security camera footage then. You think Hamura really killed him? Just curious.
I don't know, and I don't really care. If he says he's innocent, I gotta prove he's innocent. That's my job.
Has Hamura said anything to you?
Yeah, he told me he didn't do it. Claimed the cops were falsely accusing him.
So he insists he's innocent, huh? I think I know enough. We should get to the station.
You go on ahead. I got some calls to make first. Just take a cab there.
Will do.
Leaving already, Tak? And only 1 drink in.
What can I say? I'm a busy man.
Funny you should say that. Another customer of mine has a job for you. I'll tell you about it when you're not so swamped, okay?
Hey, I'm not about to pass up a paying gig.
Then come back when you and Shintani-sensei are done.
We just keep running into each other tonight, eh, Tak? Why the long face? Hamura-san. I'm Shintani from the Genda Law Office. The Matsugane family asked us to represent you.
Then I'm glad you said yes, Shintani-sensei. We're gonna get along real good. Just like my boss and Genda-sensei.
Right. Well, let's get started. I'll be taking point, while Yagami here will be doing the legwork to try and back up your claims.
No better guy to do it.
I'll do what I can.
So, they brought you in under suspicion of murder. Can you tell me more about that?
Huh? What do you want to know?
Whether or not you killed the guy.
Does it really matter? Your job's getting me out of this mess, regardless of the truth.
No. Because if I find out you actually did it...
You'll drop me?
Better. I'll make sure the prosecution puts you away for life.
This is bullshit! Just like you did that serial killer, huh?
Yagami?
All the evidence at the time pointed to Shinpei Okubo being innocent. That's why I chose to trust him.
But then, that Okubo guy, well, he proved us all wrong. Murdered his girlfriend in cold blood.
Come on, Tak. Let's be honest about what you were really focused on at the time. You wanted that precious acquittal so bad, you didn't even stop to think you were setting a murderer loose, right?
What happened to innocent until proven guilty?
Try saying that to Emi Terasawa's parents. That's why you quit, right? You couldn't face him.
You think, we could maybe get back to the case?
Sure. Why not?
You good to go?
I'm fine. Keep going.
My apologies. Now, let's start with the victim. Toshiro Kume, 34 at his time of death. A member of the Kansai-based Kyorei clan. Around 6 a.m. on the 4th of December, the police got a 110 call from someone who found his corpse in a pile of garbage.
I hear you and this Kume had some kind of argument before he died.
Yep.
Did the police say what evidence points to you being the killer? Do they have anything substantial?
Nope. Bastards are keeping their lips sealed. Ain't that right, Shintani-sensei?
Yes. At this point in the investigation, the cops won't tell me what they've got against you. Your words are the only thing we'll have till the trial.
Is what it is.
Anything else you want to ask, Yagami?
What do we have on the victim?
Toshiro Kume, 34. Run-of-the-mill Kyorei grunt.
Was Kume alone when you ran into him? Hard to believe he'd take that kind of risk in hostile territory.
It was him and one more. Probably another Kyorei asshole. Don't know his name, though.
So there were two of them. And how many of you?
I'd say there was probably 5, including me.
Where did you and Kume have your fight?
Out in front of a club, Amor, over on Supon Street. Me and a few Matsugani boys had a little run-in with a Kyorei guy. Turns out that was your boy, Kume.
And who started the fight?
What do you think? I'm not gonna let some Kansai punk strut around like he owns the place. I'd already thrown a few drinks back at that point, too.
What time did this all go down?
Just past 9.
So what happened after you and Kume had your standoff? Went your separate ways?
Nah, he tried to split, but I had my boys grab him, dragged him into Amor.
What?
I thought it was just a little scuffle, though. You're saying you abducted Kume on a crowded public street?
Yep, Amor's one of the family businesses. So I went in, kicked the customers out, and kicked the crap out of Kume. But I'm telling you, I didn't kill the guy. Just tossed him out the back door when I was done with him. I left right after, too. A few minutes before midnight.
Uh-huh. So you were seen dragging Kume into the club, and he was found in the morning with his eyes gouged out. I'd arrest you too if I was a cop. You have an alibi? What time did they think Kume died?
Apparently between 2 and 3 in the morning. The cops were drilling me real hard about where I was around then.
And? Where were you?
At a sauna. A spot called Sauna Goten. Spent the night getting a steam.
But there's no proof you were actually there, huh? Well, otherwise you wouldn't be in here.
Pretty much. Someone should have seen something, though.
I think I've heard enough for now.
We'll get going, then. Yagami, head over to Sauna Goten for me. See if Hammer's alibi holds water.
All right.
If we can prove he was there, we won't even have to go to trial. I'll give you a ring tomorrow for the report. Later.